is coordinate geometry in line. So you open up page 18, and we're interested in the idea of x, y. Look, x1, y1, x2, y2. So you know the horizontal, the first one is x, second one is y. We always name them like that, so the hint is there for you. We have our slope formula, we have our distance formula, we have our midpoint formula, and we have the equation of the line. And from what Mr. Landy's notes gave you, it's the top one we're interested in there. Okay, so basically we're interested in that, that, and that. Okay, right? So you'll have that open. Right, so let's have a look. I've already done one here slightly, so let's have a look. Okay, so we have these points 1, 4 and minus 3, 7. I'm asked to plot them. Okay, so I've plotted them here. So the x-axis, y-axis. Remember, 1 horizontally on the x-axis, like the ladder. Okay, you move the ladder across horizontally first before you climb the wall, not the other way around, and then up 4. So over 1, up 4. Minus 3, 7, horizontally minus 3, which is to the left, up 7. There you go. Okay, so you know how to plot those, and you can plot them. No problem here. Find the slope of AB. Okay, so if you have to get the slope of AB, right, you can use rise over run, or more easily, we'll use our formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, formula in your tables. Right, now remember slope, remember the idea of slope. If it's horizontal, it's 0, like that. If it's going up, it's plus something, bigger plus. And if it's going down, it's minus something. So let's see. So this one should be minus. So what we always do is we name them. So we write down our 2 points, and we name them x1, y1, x2, y2. We write our slope formula, and we sub it in straight from here. Okay, be careful with the minuses, be careful with the integers. That's the big one. We're going to look at that tomorrow, because that's the one to catch you. And we end up with a slope of 3 over minus 4, or we can write that as minus 3 over 4, which is a negative slope, which means it should be going down. And indeed, from our sketch, it is. That's slope. Now, if you're asked to get the equation of a line, remember, you need 2 things. You need the slope and a point. So in this case, we've already got the slope, and we were told to get the slope. But you may not be told. You might be just asked to get the equation of AB. And you'll have to know, I have a point, but I don't have the slope. So let's go and get the slope first, and then fill in to get the point. Okay, so let's have a look. So we have our slope already, so I've marked that in. So this is the information we have, and this is the information we have. Write down the formula, and work our way through it. Okay, so y minus y1, fill it in. Remember, we don't fill in the y, we don't fill in the x. Then we have a problem with our 4 underneath the line. Remember the trick? Dividing. Cross is multiplying, but it must multiply everything, so you put y minus 4 into brackets, like that. Multiply out the brackets, and then you need to tidy it up at the end by moving your minus 3x across, plus 3x, and moving the minus 16 across to the 3, because you can add them together then, and you end up with that. Okay. 2 more things you need to be able to do. Okay, the midpoint formula. And I've done one of these. Okay, so here you midpoint form. You have to get the midpoint of CD. So again, what we do over here on the right is we name the points x1, y1, x2, y2. Remember, the first thing you do is you name your children. Okay, you can't work without naming your children. So the first thing you do is you name your children. Okay, so you name them. Slope or midpoint formula. Find the right formula. Fill it in. Now this one is different because it ends up with, if you think about it, a value for x, a value for y. So it ends up as a couple like these. Okay, 4, 4, and that makes sense. And the final one, which I haven't done, so we'll just do it here now, is let's say find. Now they could ask you to find this. So if you see 2 lines, you have to know that's the length of AD, of CD, sorry, or the distance from C to D. Okay, but it doesn't matter on you. All you're doing is you're finding the length formula from your table. So this is the one that looks a bit tricky with the square root, but you're telling me that your brother can do square roots in his head, and he's only small. Okay, so we've no problem with square roots. We don't worry about such things. We have it named, so we're going to sub in x2 minus x1. So 5 minus 3 to be squared plus 1 minus 7 to be squared. Have to be careful here. So 2 squared minus 6 squared. Sorry, plus minus 6 to be squared. Be careful. So 2 squared plus and then minus 6 to be squared. So that's 4 plus 36 square root of 40. You could at this stage just do everything underneath the square root in your calculator, and you'd skip through to there. Okay, and that's your answer. In third form, you could get it in decimal using a calculator if you wanted. Now, so from Mr. Landy's, what he gave you on Friday, if you can do all of that, you're happy enough on coordinate geometry. Step 1.